Knowledge
We
itself.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us. We got to be proud to be black.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah. That was a song from my nephew. I had him to do it for me because the other songs I was using was copyrighted. And so I didn't want to go through the trouble trying to get the people to, can I use your song, get permission, da-da-da.
That brings back a lot of memories to have those two voices,
Yeah.
Malcolm and Martin Luther King.
Yeah. He features them. But he did it for me. I asked my nephew, I said, I need a new song, man. I need it for my show. And he came on the show. And he watched the program and everything, and then he came up with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got one out that's nice about the water, too. The crisis in the water, but he don't get too much play here in Flint. He gets his play down south.
You know, I was always marvel at people that can use the technologies. I'm not a technology person. I was born with television. We had to go up to and use our thumb to pull the thing out and all of that. Now they got these things you can just click it from your seat, and then they got these technologies where you can do what he did with that. So it's very, very impressive. Bring back a lot of memories. Malcolm and Martin, they were the voices in the 1960s.
They tell it like it is. Martin comes peacefully and Malcolm comes with it aggressively.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I lived through that era, so we kind of appreciate it a lot more. I'm glad to see young people able to go back and bring that forward because they were not there during that time period. But that was a pivotal time in our history, in the history of this country.
It was. Yes, it was. All right, I'm sorry, but when we came on, he was Dr. Moss is here as my guest today. He was a last-minute surprise guest that I have here today, and I welcome you all to Satora's Black History Corner. I am your host, Catherine Hunter Williams, and my co-host, she will not be here today for various reasons. That's why I have Dr. Moss here, and I'm so glad that he was here, that he said he would sit in for her today. And we're going to talk about Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And then we're going to move forward, and moving forward, I want to talk to you right quick and say something quickly about Prince. I wasn't going to say anything, but I'd like to take a moment, just a moment, to remember Prince and also Maurice White of the Earth, Wind and Fire, because those are two musicians who have joined their ancestors, and so just take a moment, and just remember them. And as you are remembering, I'm just going to say who he is, okay? Prince Roger Nelson was born June 7, 1958. He died April 21st, 2016, and he was known as by the mononym Prince. All right. Remember Purple Rain? That's what he was really famous for. Mm-hmm. You got any comments you want to say?
Yeah, just that we're losing a lot of our iconic figures in the entertainment world. And Prince, I didn't know Prince was as involved in a lot of community projects. I didn't really care a lot about his entertainment. I'm from another era. I guess every era has its own greatness, but I really have a lot of appreciation for what I'm hearing about him now, Catherine, in terms of what's come out, his community work. There was one person that was on CNN who was talking about that when one of the entertainers had some difficulty in their life, Prince asked this person, well, what happened to her children? He was really concerned about it, and was willing to step up and make sure they were safe and things of that sort. And I didn't know in 2003 he had converted to the Jehovah's Witness. He was a Seventh-day Adventist. and he had converted to Jehovah's Witness.
I thought that was just recent though.
Yeah, they said 2003 was the conversion.
That's when he converted to
he was already a Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
And he converted to Jehovah's Witness.
Well, they made it like he just did that recently. Converted to Jehovah's Witnesses.
I guess now the challenge would be then to go back and see what kind of transition he made in his music, because some of the things that were happening on the stage as far as Prince, I remember a lot of demonstrations when people were taking their children to see Prince, and there would be people outside demonstrating and saying, "You're taking your children to see this," and they were really abhorrent about the influence that they felt he was bringing. But Kevin, that's true of all entertainers. You know, the music of the past.
They have a lot of influence. They can turn. I finally watched that movie Straight Outta Compton with Ice Cube, and I looked at the influence that they had, and yet they were so F the police. They were so negative about certain things, but yet they had a following out of this world. Yeah.
Well, Catherine, it's like that with every generation. When we liked Elvis Presley back in the 50s.
No, I did not. You might have. I did not.
We liked him I mean, from the South, so he was a Southerner.
I am too, but no, I did not.
I love me some Elvis Presley as a child. And I remember they would bring him on, and he'd have his hips swivering, and they wanted to, put him at the waist, and they put the song out called "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." And I remember where one of the more conventional singers, this was really one of the entertainers, that was Steve Allen, had Elvis Presley on there. We're going to have him singing to a dog to show how the adults didn't like this music. And they had him singing to a hound dog, making a mockery of it. And Elvis will later on say that, he'll never do that again. But they had him singing to a dog in a little basket, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog," because they were really mocking that music. They didn't understand it because they were raised in Tony Bennett and, "I Left My Heart in San Francisco" and all that, Perry Como. And here's a guy come up here, get the guitar and moving his hips. They couldn't understand that. And my point is just that every generation brings about a musical, iconic figure that is different from the ones that preceded him, but yet built upon that. And Prince was that person, built upon James Brown and some of those singers, and took it one step beyond that.
Definitely James Brown, because he did movements, dance movements like James Brown. But I want to comment on that about "Nothing But a Hound Dog." That was written and sung by a woman named Big Mama Thornton. Before him.
Right.
And when you get your newsletter, the story about her is in there.
It's in there?
It's in there.
It's coming out now?
It's coming out now.
Okay.
She
looking forward to it.
Became she won what they call these, they don't call them Grammys back then. She won a prize for it. One of those, she sold a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then Elvis Presley, which we know Elvis Presley will take black people's songs,
they had black writers,
movements, and everything. He took it and took it platinum, I guess. He made it big.
A lot of his songs, I forget the Otis
Redding.
Otis Black. It was a person that wrote a lot of Presley's songs. Presley put his name on it, but the person who was writing was a black person. He had that black sound in his own music, and I think that's what attracted a lot of blacks in the South to Elvis. They'd heard that voice in music that was playing on the black station. And what they would do at that time is they would have blacks making records. Then for the white stations, where they had the white listeners, they would remake it again, and then it would be a white singer singing it. But
that happened many times. They
a lot of songs.
And then they would put them on, take the songs like A Lot of Black Men or whatever. Groups would put out songs, and then they would give it to whites for them to sing it, and actually their rendition of it was a little not so soulful. Let's put it that way.
Kevin, one thing that's been talked about a lot is how the music has been one of the tools of integration in this country. When they began to put the singers on the same stage with each other, Rolling Stones, for example, with James Brown, and then the two audiences sitting in the audience watching the different singers, it brought them into a more congruent relationship with each other. So the music has played a big role in that, and I do respect what I'm hearing about.
Really did. Who was it? Ray Charles said he would not sing in Georgia because of the way they treated the black people there, and then eventually they changed, and then he started singing down in Georgia. He came out with that song Georgia.
Yeah.
On My Mind. I mean, it's really a strong point of what music does. Like I just said earlier, it influences people if they really listen to the lyrics. That's why I talked to these youth today, that the songs that they have out today as far as rap and how it has put black women down so badly to me. You know, they call them all kind of names and what they should do to their body parts. I can't stand that.
I can't either.
And it makes them, to me, very violent. Where in our time, and I was down in Detroit Saturday night, in our time it was love songs, you know, we danced to love songs and different type of lyrics there, but yet we had underneath there was a violence in us, because you know that's the years of the 60s and whatever, when we rose and kind of gave them the freedom that they have, and then all this mess they come out with. Then that's when that rap group stuff started coming out and stuff. Is somebody trying to call in, John?
No.
Oh, well, what is that?
That was just we had to disconnect one of the hard drives. So it's still going. You're going to go. Well, sorry about that.
Okay, thank you, because I wasn't sure what was going on. Okay.
Well, you know, and look at the position of the guitar too. In the olden times, you know, you put the guitar in a single place and you play it, and then Elvis would take the guitar and he would move it around as he was in fact gyrating, and then Prince would take the guitar and then he'd put it down below his waistline
and have a woman down below there, and he'd be playing something. I could, like she do. Yeah. I can't stand them kind of songs that put the women down, man. Yeah.
But I'm really beginning to appreciate him more. My music would be different. I like to be able to hear the lyrics. I like, you know, people like Etta James. She helped me get over some of my heartache when I was a child. You know, I'd rather be blind boy.
A few of them did. So that's what I'm saying about our music. It helped you fall in love. Right. It helped you through when you done broke up.
That was the music in my day.
Mine too. But then, you know, for our children, my children, they came out strongly with this rap. And then that rap just turned everything. Everybody became niggas. What I hated mostly about it is how they put the black woman down in those songs that they got out. Yeah, they really put her down.
We were more a love generation, because that's our music. We were singing about love. You know, like one song that I remember, and it really was one, I was in high school at the time, that came out by Sam Cooke. I know you remember this one. It was called I Don't Know Much About History and all of that. And that guy didn't have he was trying to get his lesson out.
Don't know much about B-I-I-G.
You know why? Because he wanted to impress his girlfriend.
I know that I love you. Something like that.
Yeah, but I don't claim to be an A student, right? But I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
But maybe by being an A student, baby, I could win your love for me. So I think a lot of us were in the classroom, because some of it was we wanted a girlfriend and they didn't want no diamonds. They were sitting there doing their work. So
we would actually play, you know, you could put a song on and play it for them. Yeah. You know, and if you wanted to break up with somebody, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it was just an awesome time, but times have changed, and if you don't change, you kind of get stuck. Yeah. But some of it, I just don't deal with it at all. Like when I had my nephew to make that the song, our theme song, don't put no, you know, curse words and all that stuff in it, you know, because to me these youth are more violent than they were before because of those kind of songs.
You know, Catherine, when I leave the studio running home to watch your program live, I do that because I like to listen to that part you have as introduction. The program is good also, but the introduction you have to your program with Malcolm and Martin, those voices, I do that because I can remember that, how it helped guide me in certain ways to become the person I'm trying to become now. And I think the grounding point was some of those childhood experiences. I was saying Etta James was a person that I listened to a lot, because when she was saying that one song called I'd Rather Be a Blind Boy, then it's...
No, I didn't want to sing that one. I'd rather go blind, boy, than to see you walk away from me. I don't want to go blind here.
Yeah, but I mean, I understood the sentiment. I didn't want to go blind.
It too, but
no. Because I mean, the girls will break it. You know, you get your heart broken, and She helped me end it because we sit down there moping and she's singing and we can kind of get through it because she had experience, at least she sang about it. And that kind of was a grounding point for me. But I'm really beginning to appreciate Prince a lot more because I'm hearing some things he was doing that was not in the limelight, and he was doing some things behind the scenes I wasn't aware of. And
did you know he was
really
actually so shy? He was actually terrified to get up there on stage, but he did. And another thing about when I first seen Prince, I took my mom to see him. Anyway, that man came out. He was the first one came out with his butt out. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I saw it when I went and watched the clips.
He was the first one that I seen how they stand up there and shake the butt like they do in the day.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw it. When he passed, I went to see some of his clips on YouTube, and I saw one of the videos that had that in there.
Insane, no, I'll never forget.
Not surprised by it.
He got up there and he turned around, and that's when we see he actually had his butt out. He didn't have fake butts. He had his butt out, and he did the shake, shake, shake. That you see them stand up and they shake right now.
Yeah.
Prince was the first one I seen do that.
After Catherine and her mom come back from the concert, Catherine's mom sent Catherine into her room. Go to your room, Catherine,
and lock the door.
I would take my mother to Marvin Gaye. I took her to concerts all the time because she loved it, and she
Did
never
she enjoy that? She enjoyed it.
She enjoyed it. Marvin Gaye, he likes to gyrate.
My mom would have slapped me.
You know, likes to get up there, take his shirt off, and he had a beautiful body.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye, he really did.
My mom was not into that. She was that Perry Como type person, in terms of put your hands here and don't move them, and just sing the song. Don't move, just sing. But this generation, every generation changes
and then Mama, I had to really talk her into going. But once she got to going, she would call me, "You going to a concert?" So I had got her involved in going to concerts, and that's how she got to see a lot of people. Otherwise, she never would have got to see them.
So, Kevin, you like Prince in terms of you say you like some of his music.
I like some of his music. I don't like all of Prince's music. Not all.
What do you think about him as an entertainer in terms of his?
I think he's a great entertainer. Yeah, but the best entertainer to me live was Michael Jackson because I don't like Michael singing. I never did. Well, Off the Wall was when he was, to me, that was it for me when he sung that album Off the Wall. But his voice was never the kind of era I came from. The voices were more soulful, more deeper. Michael wasn't there, but he gives an awesome.
You ever see him live?
Show. That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about live?
Live.
Where'd you see him?
Not just on TV and stuff
you
like
saw him
that.
Live?
Down here, what's this place down here? Not in Detroit, but it's that where they play the basketball games.
You mean in Detroit at the arena?
It's down here, Pontiac.
In Pontiac.
Silverdome.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
John, what is that?
It's Silverdome.
It's the Silverdome.
In Pontiac. Okay.
That's where they have Janet Jackson, all them.
Pontiac Silverdome is gone. I mean, it's basically...
It wasn't gone when Michael Jackson was down there.
No, but it is now. I mean, it's dilapidated. I mean, I don't know if they tore it down or they're going to, but it's pretty bad shape.
Well, Janet Jackson has been down there. Now, I don't know if it was at the Silverdome, but it was down that way.
Yeah, it could have been because I mean she was in the '80s and that was still a popular venue in the '80s, but now it's just totally. It's like I saw a picture. The domes collapsed. It's like people got into it and started scrapping and stuff. It's not in good shape right now. It's pretty sad.
I had no inclination to see Michael Jackson. I knew he was a great entertainer, but it wasn't.
I'd like to see.
It just wasn't my kind of music.
Do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see it live. Just like the movies. I go to the movies. I love special effects. Let me see how they did that.
Yeah.
So I want to see Jungle Boy. Let me see. We got to get to this. But let me see how they do that.
Yeah.
Those special effects. So, let me go see my.
I was in those long lines
a lot of them.
in Detroit at the Cobo when James Brown would come to town. I never missed him. And I think that's because
James
I saw him.
Brown came to Flint. He was here too.
Yeah, but he was a different entertainer then, a little bit older.
Yeah,
in his heyday.
That was like the late 90s.
He was something else on stage.
He was here. Yeah, he was.
That was in his heyday when he was here because I seen him as a young one.
Oh yeah, he was at the Whiting. I remember that. Like I said, sometime in the 90s.
This was IMA deal.
Oh, that's what the
Back
IMA.
in the time
that was a
period.
great venue. I love
Back
that.
in the time period when I saw him was on Ed Sullivan. I think it was 1966, and Ed Sullivan only gave you about 2 minutes. He had to do a whole barrage of songs in 2 minutes, and he did his theme song was "Please, Please, Please," which was his first hit back in the 1950s, and he always would end with that in the shows. And when I saw that on television, I said, I'm a James Brown fan from this point on. And when he came to Detroit, and I was in Detroit back and forth. My father lived in Detroit, so I was going down there in the weekends. And if James Brown was performing at Cobo, that long line they had around the corner, another block, I was in that line waiting to get in.
But that's the way it was, and it still is today to sometimes go see certain entertainers, especially when you go down here to this, it's outside, I can't think of the name, Sashaba Road or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's a park. Mm-hmm. It's a big, huge park, and they have different entertainers there. But anyway, we need to move forward because we could talk a while about Prince and all these other different people and the changes of the music. And like I said, if you don't change, you get kind of stuck. So you got to change. I
learned something, Captain. I know that you liked Prince, at least some of his music. That's interesting. I learned something about the real Catherine.
Yeah, one song
in the
that musical, you can really get a dance on. And Let's Go Crazy. I think that's the name of it. Anyway, I like some of his songs, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm. So you have a sense of loss. You have a sense of loss with Prince.
No, because people die,
Mm-hmm.
He died at a young age, 57, and he probably had a lot more that he could have gave to the world and our local community. Mm-hmm. But
he had so many albums out too, because he didn't. A lot of his stuff didn't get a lot of fanfare. It was kind of orphan music. A lot of people, it didn't fall into any straight category. Mm-hmm. So he was he was an innovator. He could play over 20 different instruments, I guess, too. So
I thought it was more than 20.
Over 20, I think. But it was I knew the 20 because I seen him actually demonstrate at least 15 of them.
You consider him to be a genius of music?
Oh, he was. He was producing his own
Very
music.
Creative.
He was producing his own music by the time he was 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just. You don't get people like him very often in the world. It's a serious loss. He produced probably, if you added up all the stuff he's been, also all the hits he produced for other people, created them. Yeah, like Sheila E. He also the Bangles did a song. There's a Manic Monday that Sinead O'Connor did the song Nothing Compares to You. He wrote that one.
Wow.
There's 3 of them right there, and that's just off the top of my head.
I'm learning a lot in the aftermath.
He has done a lot for the world, not just the United States, but the world. And Prince was a person that he was a little man, 5'2", wore high heels. That was the first man I seen wore those kind of shoes as a young woman. You would say, but you never know about Prince. What is they said he was androgynous, and I would say, okay, could be that because you never know. He was feminine, but yet he was very sexy to me. But that's to me now. He had some of the most sexiest eyes. But we need to move forward because we want to talk about what's new that's out about Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, because we only got about so many more minutes, like 5 or 6 more minutes, John.
You could about 7 minutes more. Yeah.
Okay, we want to just talk a little bit about Harriet Tubman, a black American abolitionist who was born a slave. Will stand with George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Benjamin Franklin as among the iconic faces of the U.S. currency. The $20 bill will be redesigned with Tubman's portrait. We won. On the front marking 2 historical milestones. Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew announced Wednesday. She will be the first black American on the U.S. paper money and the first woman depicted in 100 years. The leader of the Underground Railroad will replace the portrait of Andrew Jackson, the nation's 7th president and a slave owner. Also, he was the cause of the Trail of Tears, which was some sadness for the Native Americans. And I don't get. He will be pushed to the back of the bill. So he's going to be on the back of the bill.
That is really amazing when you think about it. You notice they said in your reading of that, they said that she would be the first African American on the paper.
Black American?
Black
Come on now.
Black American.
Because you got to be going Black American.
Black American. You're right, Black American. Catherine and I have had that conversation.
We're going to talk about that one day because
Black American.
on this show because that identity thing, like I have been saying, American African. A lot of them say African American, and it sticks. That one is hard to get rid of. So then I'm saying I'm American. I'm a descendant of African, so I went American African.
I would agree with you 1,000%, Catherine. You don't even have to say Black American when you're outside the country, because they see the blackness and they don't ask you if you're Black American. Ask you American. The visible aspect of your.
I'm just tired of the identity thing that we're going through. So
and
what I did,
and African Americans are not accepted anywhere outside the country as far as the way blacks situate themselves. They need to go to Africa to see that doesn't play there.
No, African American does not play in Africa, because what country was that's what they had. What country was you born in? In this, in Africa. Well, I wasn't. I was born in America. Then you were American, and that's the bottom line of it.
There are no African Americans born here except Barack Obama and that type, because there's no experience they have that connects to Africa. You cannot connect to Africa 300 years after you've been removed from that environment. Don't forget that identity is two things. It is not only historic origin, it's also social location. It's not where you once were, but also where you're now. And if you're not now ever where you once were, then you can't claim that as part of the identity that you're carrying around.
So y'all will start hearing me say Black American, and that's a good one because it covers the Haitians, the Jamaicans, it covers them all.
I'm going to bring a book to our next session, Catherine, the book written by Clarence Walker. We've studied one of his books called We Can Never Go Home Again.
We studied that.
He has another book out that we need to talk about in our study group at some point, and it's called De-Romanticizing, because we talked about the romanticizing of Black history in our last session. So I'm going to bring that book as a basis of the beginning of our conversation next time, called De-Romanticizing Black history. But let's get back to, we don't have a lot of time left.
We don't.
Let's get back to what you're saying about Harriet Tubman.
It says, Lew also settled the black backlash that had erupted after he had announced an initial plan to remove Alexander Hamilton, the nation's first Treasury Secretary, from the $10 bill in order to honor a woman. Hamilton will remain on the $10 note, Lew said. Instead, the treasurer building on the back of the bill will be replaced with the leaders of the suffrage movement to give women the right to vote. And I'm just not going to name all of them, but one of them is going to be Sojourner Truth. And then the other one, the $5 bill will also undergo a change. The illustration of the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the bill will be redesigned to honor events at the Lincoln Memorial that helped to shape our history and our democracy. The new images will include civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. and Marian Anderson. Now, George is going to tell us a little history. I could tell it, but I'm going to let him. And I want to say, George, Dr. Moss is he's a very good friend of me, so I might call him George. But Dr. Moss is also our discussion leader of the Commit Study Group that we formed 11 years ago, and we still going strong. Yes.
Catherine gives me too much credit in terms of study group. I know this for a fact, that if she's not there doing all of the work behind the scenes, and also a lot of it in the student study group itself, it doesn't have 11-year longevity, Catherine. So
it's the force, and I know who the force is. We could just give each other.
Yeah, I give you a lot of credit.
Okay,
I give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I know that when I asked you, George, would you be our discussion leader, and you said yeah, I knew it was gonna be.
Well, getting to the topic.
Back to the topic.
Yeah, I have a couple of views that I like to share on this, and also the politics involved in it. I do not think that the politics is as the outcome is positive. I don't think that the intent is positive. I think that the intent is something that is very political.
Extremely political.
In terms of what they are designing, is in a sense a certain amount of historical erasure. We can add. See, when you have somebody added to something, then that means that the addition does not bring about the same time subtraction. In other words, you can't have an addition and with subtraction going at the same time. So we could have had the addition of Harriet Tubman without the subtraction in any way, and the diminution of of Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States.
Well, he's just going to be, as they said here, pushed to the back of the bill.
Shouldn't be pushed
But
anywhere.
I don't know, he
should
should
add
not,
her
he
to the
just
front.
be taken off. But
Well, we could have brought back the $2 bill.
It was a lot of,
You don't have to subtract anything.
there was a lot of flack going on
Yes.
about her being on, taking him off and putting her on there.
Yeah, Jacob Lou.
So they politically, to me, to make it, they call it politically correct, put both of them on there.
You know, there was a kind of an irony though, Jackson being on any Federal Reserve note because he opposed a central bank. So that was kind of a slap
That's
against
why the
him.
tax is being made.
Yeah.
He opposed a central bank. So.
Yeah, and in fact, he and Bill got into an argument so that the Second National Bank, they got rid of Alexander Hamilton's bank. Alexander Hamilton's bank was set up in 1791, and it had a 20-year run. In 1811, it was they got away from it, but then they had the war in 1812. It's a long story. In 1812, they had the war and had to then finance the war, so they wanted to bring back the Second National Bank to do it. And so, anyway, Jackson, later on, when he was elected in 1828, was against the bank and did not recharter it in 1832. Now they're getting back at Jackson. They're getting back at Jackson
This way.
this way, and they didn't take Alexander Hamilton off because that would have been something that would be terrible. Because Jackson is because Alexander Hamilton is the first Secretary of the Treasury, and it was his brilliance that brought about the monetary system that we have in place right now. And how do you take him off the money as the only non-president that was on the money? Now you read something very important here,
Hamilton
Captain.
will remain on the $10
bill, but you read something very important here. It said that
I still don't know how they're gonna be putting one face on front one. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but we're gonna have to wrap it.
Okay, well, Harriet, one point about Harriet Tubman. You said that she's the first Black American on the paper money, and that's a qualifier because the first Black American on the money of the country was Booker T. Washington.
But that was on a coin.
On a coin. So,
this is the paper.
and that's why I said I wanted to qualify it.
But also they say on the $2 bill that there was a black man on that.
You said the first black woman on the paper currency, and that's true. But I want to make sure that we don't get confused thinking it's the first time we've had any Black American on the money itself, because Booker T. Washington would be such a person.
Yeah, like I said, he was on the coin.
On the coin.
And the coins get put in a jar, but the money does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
anyway,
it's important that we recognize Harriet Tubman, but we need to understand the politics in back of it as well.
But actually, Catherine, I don't know if you know this, the government's only granted permission to coin coins, not print currency. That in the Constitution.
Article 1, Section 8.
So currency, paper currency, totally is something that was not allowed by our own Constitution initially.
Right.
So anyway, that's a point.
And it's not even on money. It's to me, it's with Harriet Tubman, we have to say something about the exploitation that's involved in it, because here she put on what is called the money when she wasn't able to make any money out there in that cotton field.
Right.
So in that way, it's this appreciation
she did some
of
great
a role.
things. She was
But it's
a
recognizing
spy.
her at the same time. So there's some good coming out of it. But let's understand the political intent that's in back of the
shut down.
of the situation here.
Okay, well, we're going to have to bring Dr. Moss back. And like I said, thank you so much for sitting in for me right at short notice. And I hope my co-hosts get it together with her people or whatever it is that she was going to do. I think she's still going to do that with them, distributed water. But that's all right. They might come back again to Flint. But I don't know. But anyway. Satora's Black History Corner Internet program comes to you via satellite at allpointstv.com. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month, unless the day falls on a holiday. And I think in May, Memorial Day comes up, and we are not going to be doing a program. I don't think it's 5 Mondays in May. Starting at 3:30 p.m. Also, be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. Also, allpointstv.com has began a new program on Comcast Channel 17. So if you miss our programs on allpointtv.com, you can watch them every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30 on Comcast Channel 17. Got it. Okay. As always, I'd like to say thanks to all of you who have watched our program today. We hope that you've learned something new today about our story, which is our Black American Black American heritage and culture. And if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please pass it on. And be looking forward to this $20 bill, the $5 bill, and the $10 bill with black faces on them. How that's all going to work out, I have no idea, because I don't know. I ain't fit to comment no more on it. Until next time, as we like to always say, know that you are a strong and resilient people and that no one can keep us down. To always love yourself and embrace the beautiful black skin you're in, and to always keep on keeping on with us. Hotep, which means peace.
Information, a knowledge of
We must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that there nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Hating our features and our skin and our blood, while we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed